On the news tonight, 25 states refused to vote on constitution amendment bills, Deputy Senate President Ovie Omagege reveals. APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu assures President Buhari of continuity in legacy, says no one can dismiss his achievements. And Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike endorses Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for second term. Well, many thanks for joining us for News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Chairman of the National Assembly Constitution Review Committee, Ovie Omagege, says 6 months after 44 constitution bills were passed and transmitted to state houses of assembly, 25 states of assembly have refused to act on the bills. Omagege disclosed this at a press conference on the status of the 44 constitution amendment bills at the National Assembly on Tuesday. According to the Deputy Senate President, the Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assembly had received a letter indicating that the remaining states would not act on the bills unless the National Assembly passes 4 new bills they proposed.
It is most disheartening to inform you that only 11 state houses of assembly, 11, have demonstrated their independence and loyalty to the Constitution regarding the 44 bills. Only 11. 25 state houses of assembly are here to consider and vote on these bills. So far, only Abia, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Delta, Edo, Kaduna, Katsina, Kogi, Lagos, Ogun, and Osun states have successfully considered, voted on, and forwarded their resolutions on the 44 bills to the National Assembly. And that vote is being taken hostage. And that is what we are against. If there are bills there that you are not comfortable with, vote it down.
Also speaking on some of the bills, President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, believes the constitutional amendment process was transparent and fair.
I can say that this process has been followed up to the letter from the public hearings in the 12 states to the public hearing here in this National Assembly chambers. And Nigerians freely canvass for position on all those issues. And I remembered the position of NLC about the state police was very clear. Check the history of thuggery in Nigeria and also insecurity. How do we actually empower political thugs to now become bandits?
Presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says no one can take away the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari. Tinubu spoke on Tuesday at the Ministerial Performance Review Retreat held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The former governor of Lagos said Buhari's achievements might go unappreciated at the moment, but the history books would be fair to the president.
We supported you to get elected. We supported you before your first day in office. I will remain your friend and ally even after your final day at the job. I can say this because I know the vision you hold for Nigeria. It is a good and uplifting one. I know the level of patriotic dedication with which you have served this country. I know the things you have achieved. And listening critically to the laundry list of what was achieved and discussed yesterday, one will definitely realize the depth of commitment that every one of you has made to this country. If elected, I will give due honor to your efforts and your legacy. I will walk in the spirit of cordial unity, national purpose that informed the creation of our party and characterized the work of your government.
With the 2023 general elections drawing closer by the day, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has advised political parties, their candidates and supporters to show commitment to the peace accord signed about 3 weeks ago under the auspices of the National Peace Committee (NPC). INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu gave the advice on the backdrop of reported clashes among parties and their supporters in some states of the country during the ongoing electioneering campaign. Yakubu was speaking at the training of master trainers on election technology for the 2023 general elections. Our correspondent, Emeka Amako, compiled this report from Abuja.
Elections in Nigeria over the past years have witnessed the deployment of technology with systems and portals designed and developed to cater for different electoral activities. INEC still insists that the deployment of technological processes is the best bet for credible and free and fair elections in the country. It is in furtherance of this commitment that INEC has organized this training for master trainers on election technology ahead of the 2023 general elections.
Today, we begin the process with the training of master trainers to serve as registration area technical support, the RATEC. A total of 82 officials drawn from our offices nationwide will form the nucleus of the training. Over the next 3 days, they will receive intensive hands-on training on the new technology. Thereafter, they will train more officials at zonal level to cover all the 8,809 registration areas or wards.
Equip participants with skill to use, troubleshoot, and maintain electoral technologies before, during, and after the general elections. Who are the target group? The primary target group of 2023 ET training is the RATECs that are going to be deployed to provide technical support to polling units staff, collation staff at RA level, LGA level, and for the 2023 general election.
With training and retraining as key for capacity building, stakeholders believe the 3-day workshop will enhance the credibility and integrity of the electoral process.
This training is of utmost importance as it further builds your capacity as the Commission's master trainers who coordinate training at strategic levels, thereby enhancing the credibility and integrity of the electoral process. Particularly significant are the electronic voter registers, the permanent voters card, the bimodal voters accreditation system, and the INEC results viewing portal, which are the determinants of the true winners of an election.
I want to use this opportunity once again to restate IFE's commitment to continue our partnering with INEC and its members in building a sustainable democracy in Nigeria. INEC can count on our readiness to continually partner with the Commission in achieving its mission of serving as an independent and effective election management body committed to conducting free, fair, and credible elections for sustainable democracy in Nigeria.
A total of 82 officials drawn from INEC offices nationwide will form the nucleus of the training over the next 3 days and are expected to train more officials at zonal level to cover all the 8,809 registration areas. In turn, these officials will be involved in the training of ad hoc staff for the 176,846 polling units nationwide.
In Nigeria, more than 600 people have died and 1.3 million have been displaced from their homes in flooding that has hit 33 of Nigeria's 36 states and the capital territory in Abuja. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management has also disclosed that more than 108,000 hectares of farmland have been submerged and critical infrastructure such as roads have been destroyed, while state governors of some of the affected states such as Kogi, Bayelsa and Anambra have called on both local and international bodies for help. Flooding has sadly become a recurring situation in the country. Well, to speak more on this development, Edward Obi, who is an environmentalist and oil and gas expert, joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, despite flooding being a regular problem in Nigeria, why are we still unprepared in tackling this scourge?
Well, thank you, Folashade, for having me. And this is a sad reality of our body politic in Nigeria, that year by year we get this menace and then year by year we fail to address it. This year is an entire disaster and embarrassment to our country. Now, let me take you back a little bit to 2012. 2012, we had a similar massive flood covering several states of the Federation, all along the tributaries and of the River Niger and the Benue, etc., all the way down to Bayelsa State and into the sea. And we cried out as civil society to the government and asked the government to immediately take steps to redress this situation, to address it and redress those that have been affected. And would you believe that it was civil society mainly that organized relief for the poor people who were left to sleep on the rooftops of their homes, who were the ones that organized the retrieval of people who were stranded and also brought relief to those others that we could not retrieve. Now, this is absolutely unfortunate. The environmental question is central to this yearly flooding in Nigeria. People have blocked channelways. The natural channels of the waters have become silted and shallow. So the volume of water that ordinarily would be contained in these channels is not being contained there. As a result, water will always find its level, and it's finding its level into human habitation, as we see already in the pictures that you are showing. Now, we have a meteorological society in this country and an agency of government dedicated to all of this activity. There is also NEMA, and in every state there are similar outfits that should rise up to the occasion, mobilize, go out and rescue people who are being trapped. But look at what we are hearing. So many people have lost their lives. Apart from that, critical infrastructure and human habitation, houses, roads. Indeed, I'm in Abuja today, and for the last week or more, we have had fuel shortages here. Critical shortages because tankers were not able to make their way up to the nation's capital. Now, this will occur again. I can almost forecast that it will occur again next year and the year after, unless the amount of money that was dedicated to building the Kiri Dam or expanding it in Adamawa State is actually utilized. I have good information from an honorable member of the House from that state. Over the several years, budgets have been made and monies have been expended for this project, but nothing is there to show. Now, unless we can accommodate the water that is coming right down that channel in one or two dams or several other smaller dams, we will have this problem recurring.
Now, just as you've said that we have some agencies of government who are responsible for situations like this, and just as you've said, monies have been budgeted to ensure that flooding doesn't become a yearly occurrence. Now, what do we hold responsible, basically, because this happens year after year?
Well, as far as leadership is concerned, if you disburse money for something to be done, and year after year, several years down the line, the same thing is recurring, Shouldn't you ask to know what happened there? Couldn't you send your own trusted personnel or staff to go out there and see what exactly has happened? But we are living in a country where it seems to me that the leadership of the day has abdicated and they are not following up on anything, and especially that dam that is the main reason why we have so much flood. Now, the budgets have been made year after year after year, and the leadership of the House, the leadership of the political leadership are busy signing these budgets without inquiring to see what happened to the last budget, how much of it was implemented, and what happened to the funds that were disbursed.
Indeed, Edward Obi, environmentalist and oil and gas expert, thank you very much for your time and your contribution as always. The Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has endorsed his Lagos State counterpart, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for a second term in office. Wike spoke at the ongoing 22nd National Women's Conference organized by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials. According to him, Governor Sanwo-Olu's performance in office has earned him a second term. He commended him for giving women the opportunity to serve in various capacities in the state, especially the judiciary. The endorsement comes despite Wike's party, the People's Democratic Party, having a governorship candidate in Lagos in the person of Olajide Adeniran, popularly known as Jandor.
If someone is not doing well, even if he belongs to my party, I won't come. So, for me, if you're in my party and you're not doing well, you won't see me. If you're not in my party and you're doing well, you will see me. And that's what I stand for. And I will not regret to say that I'm in support of you. A president that has the interests of Nigeria, a president that has experience in governance, a president that Nigeria can say, yes, I remove food, and it can put food on the table, will fight insecurity. That's what we're looking for. Not some people who are talking about ethnicity. No.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. United Nations Commission finds Russia and Ukraine guilty of possible war crimes. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. Chairman of the National Assembly Constitution Review Committee, Ove Omagege, says 6 months after 44 constitution bills were passed and transmitted to state houses of assembly, 25 states of houses of assembly have refused to act on the bills. According to the Deputy Senate President, the Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assembly had received a letter indicating that the remaining states would not act on the bills unless the National Assembly passes 4 new bills they proposed. We also told you that the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has endorsed his Lagos State counterpart, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for a second term in office. The endorsement comes despite Wike's party, the People's Democratic Party, having a governorship candidate in Lagos in the person of Olajide Adeniran, popularly known as Jandor. But in case you missed any of our news bulletin, for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. America's top infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci has warned against prematurely declaring victory over COVID-19 pandemic as long COVID represents an insidious public health emergency for millions of people. Fauci also urged the U.S. Congress not to be complacent and to resume funding efforts to combat the virus, including the scourge of long COVID. Fauci added that the cold fact that COVID-19 still kills 400 people a day in the U.S. catches public attention more acutely than estimates of the millions suffering from long COVID. I will take a breather here and return with more stories in business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Let's now join Abisola Adebayo for more stories and business. Over to you, Bisola.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has lamented the mirage of challenges bedeviling manufacturers in the country, urging the federal government to find a lasting solution as a matter of urgency. President of Dangote Group and a member of the association, Aliko Dangote, made the call while speaking at the association's 50th annual general meeting, which took place in Lagos on Tuesday. Dangote lamented the challenges of the manufacturing sector, which includes insecurity and multiple tax rates, among others. He maintained that for Nigeria to achieve the agenda for industrialization goals in the next decade, it is necessary for the government to formulate policies that will enhance and sustain industrialization to facilitate enduring economic growth.
Any journey towards industrialization must place strong emphasis on creating an enabling environment for manufacturing. You will agree with me that Nigeria has the potential and wherewithal for industrialization given its vibrant and entrepreneurial population as well as its vast array of natural resources. The country's dwindling industrial performance has significant socio-economic implications as poverty and unemployment continues to rise. While there is a pressing need to create more jobs, the high cost of doing business in the face of declining consumer purchasing power puts enormous strain on manufacturers. Nigeria needs to henceforth intensify efforts at promoting industrialization with specific focus on attainment of the following targets in the next 10 years. 15% manufacturing sector growth, 20% manufacturing contributions to GDP, 15% growth in export of manufactured products, 10% increase in share of manufacturing to total export merchandise, stronger inter-industry linkages between SMEs and large corporations, improved manufacturing contributions to government tax revenue, and 20% increase in manufacturing employment.
Well, we'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. It was indeed another disappointing outing on Tuesday as the Nigeria stock market continued its free fall, thereby eroding the gains seen year-to-date in the market. At the close of trading, the all-share index declined further by 2.16% to close at 45,366 basis points. The loss also means 545 billion naira has been shaved off the market value today, which is why our market capitalization ended at 24.7 trillion naira. Moving on, Airtel Africa, as for the second time this week, topped the league of decliners, pushing the market further south as it recorded another 162 naira loss from its share price. Meanwhile, on the flip side, financial services stocks dominated the gainers counter. They were, however, led by United Capital PLC and Regency Assurance as they recorded a combined 1 naira 12 kobo increase. Meanwhile, we see the green flags flying in value, volume, and even deals in the activity chart of the market as 420 million units of shares valued at 3.6 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,486 deals. Well, it's looking like the bear is here to stay on the market, but let's hope that there will be some positive comeback before the week runs out. Moving on to the global scene, the FTSE, the Dow Jones, and the Nikkei, they are all in the positive territory. Britain's main equity indexes managed to eke out gains for the fourth straight day on Tuesday, boosted by the reversal of the government's unfunded tax cut plans and optimism over the earnings season that boosted U.S. stocks. That is why the U.S. stocks also surged and Treasury yields eased as earnings surprised to the upside and robust factory data for the investors' risk appetite. And Japan stocks Nikkei is also recording a 1.42% increase at the close of trading. That's all on Stock Market Report. Back to you, Folashade, for the rest of the news.
Well, many thanks, Abisola, for that update. And on the foreign scene, a United Nations Commission has found Russian forces were responsible for the vast majority of human rights violations in the early weeks of the war in Ukraine, including attacks on civilians that were potential war crimes. The Independent International Commission of Inquiry on Ukraine found that Russian forces had indiscriminately shelled areas they were trying to capture and attacked civilians trying to flee. It also found abuses committed by Ukraine, including 2 cases of people who were out of action, who were shot, wounded, or tortured. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Filming of the sequel to the 2019 hit action comedy Sugar Rush has kicked off. Producer Jade Oshiberu teased some pictures from the ongoing production in Johannesburg with its leading ladies. The actors Adesua Etomi Wellington, Bisola Ayola, and Bimbo Ademoye also shared videos on their Instagram handles confirming production. The original film, directed by Kayode Kasum, follows the Sugar Sisters on a comic race against time to recover a large sum of money belonging to a dreadful crime lord. The family of Abimbola Ogbonna, the late wife of celebrity car dealer popularly known as IVD, has put out a public release on her demise. Abimbola died as a result of injuries sustained from a fire-related assault. According to the family, the recurring domestic violence led to her untimely death. The statement described Abimbola as a peace-loving woman who puts the interest of her 5 children first. The family further called on the public to amplify their demand for justice as they claim the husband, IVD, is currently on the run in the hope of evading justice. Well, that's it on the entertainment segment of News Now.
And in sport, African table tennis champion Quadri Aruna has retained his number 14 spot in the current International Table Tennis Federation World Ranking for men's singles. The 33-year-old scored 1,715 points to maintain his position as Africa's top-ranked table tennis player for the month of October. Taiwo Mati dropped 1 place in the latest ranking to 95, hitting 190 points in the month under review. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.